Following the ubiquitous footage of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars, lots of people have asked me what Chris Rock could have done about it before Will Smith had the opportunity to come up and slap him. I.e., could he have reacted first in self-defense before the slap occurred? The simple answer is yes, and the next question people often ask me is what would I have done? Well, I'm linking a video in the description below on Black Belt Secrets to tell you what I really would have done. But let's first get back to the question. What could he have done? He could have delivered what's known as a preemptive strike in law, at the very least in English law, and I'm sure there's an equivalent in the United States, but let's not go there. So a preemptive strike is when you know that someone is going to attack you. So did Chris Rock know? Did he genuinely believe that Will Smith was about to slap him? Well, that depends. That is an entirely subjective test as to what he genuinely believed the circumstances to be. So let's say Chris Rock reacted by shoving Will Smith back to prevent him from getting any closer. Or worse still, let's say that Chris Rock threw the first slap because he believed that Will Smith was going to come and slap him. That would be a subjective test as to what did Chris Rock genuinely believe those circumstances to be. Did he genuinely believe that Will Smith was going to come up and attack him? If so, then he would have gone on to act in self-defense. Then it becomes an objective test, i.e. what would a reasonable person think was a reasonable amount of force to use in that specific circumstance that Chris Rock genuinely believed it to be. If it was simply a shove to say, hey, stay away from me, buddy, then that would be probably reasonable force. If indeed it was a slap around the face, which might have been what Chris Rock expected, or even a punch in the face, if that's what Chris Rock expected. If that's deemed to be a reasonable amount of force from an objective perspective, i.e. a reasonable person's perspective, then that would amount to a perfectly reasonable argument of self-defense, if indeed Chris Rock had have acted in a preemptive strike against Will Smith. Now, if on the other hand, Chris Rock in his defense had brutally attacked and kicked Will Smith on his way up on stage, that's much less likely to be reasonable force in an objective test. Now, let's contrast this with another scenario. Let's say after the filming, Chris Rock was walking down a dark street on his way home, and a group of attackers came from behind him, and he genuinely believed that he was going to be mugged, severely beaten up, and possibly worse still. And then he turned around and viciously kicked and brutally attacked these group of attackers. Then obviously in that scenario, it's very much more likely that a jury would find that that level of force was reasonable by an objective test, because his genuine belief of those circumstances at the time is obviously again much more likely given the surroundings. So would Chris Rock have been able to use a preemptive strike against Will Smith to defend himself on stage? Yes, probably, if he genuinely believed that Will Smith was going to come up and attack him, and a jury accepted that, and Chris Rock reacted by attacking him. That would most likely amount to an argument of self-defense. What would I do? Well, you have to see the video linked in the description below. Now, thank you for watching.